Africa, the world's second largest and most populous continent, is gradually becoming a huge shame unto itself with its increasing number of aged and sick rulers. It would have seemed like a shame covered if these presidents and their handlers have denied the public some of the unbearable acts of these old men in power. Two of them in recent time stick out like sore thumbs. The News Pop NG recalls that one was at an international conference outside the continent and did not know where he was, as he was asking off questions from his aide, unable to read the script given to him. So also was he farting loudly. Another, at a public function covered by the international media, could not hold his urine. He peed in his pants. Some of these presidents who came in at a young age do not want to step down despite their advanced age and, more importantly, their failing health. By so doing, they are causing embarrassment, exhibiting incompetence in office, and incurring expenses for the economy of their country with expensive health vacations and treatments. Yet, there are those who attained power and have had to use state resources to keep themselves going health-wise, while some of them are able to keep their health conditions away from the public glare by seeking medical help on time. The world is beginning to look at Africa as a place for the older generation, not willing to give room for the younger generation to have a say in governance. Though there have been arguments that maturity is required in governance, as exhibited in the case of the United States, where then 78-year-old President Joe Biden took over power from Donald Trump, who was 74 years old when he left office in 2021. Fingers are also being pointed in the direction of France and the United Kingdom, where young presidents are in power. In this report by Newspop NG, you will get to know 8 African presidents who have served long term as president, are very advanced in age, but have remained in power, in some cases, despite their failing health. You will also be seeing some of their embarrassing moments on video. Let's start with the president of Cameroon, Paul Biya. He is one of the oldest leaders in the world. Biya, who is 90, will this year mark 41 years in power. He assumed office as president of Cameroon in 1982. History has it that Biya is the second longest serving leader in Africa. The longest is Equatorial Guinea's Teodoro Obiang Nguema, who has been in power since 1979. Biya is the 7th on the list of the top 10 oldest presidents in the world. However, the long age in service as president has also exposed publicly Biya's failing health. The president on different occasions has exhibited signs of dementia, and it has become embarrassing. At the 2022 US African Summit, then 89-year-old Paul Biya for several minutes did not understand where he was or what he was supposed to do after he was called upon to give his speech at the event.
Pourquoi je suis en vedette ici? C'est qui tous ces gens qui sont là? Pourquoi je n'ai pas demandé ça? Est-ce qu'il y a des gens importants là?
Les ministres qui sont là. Le président Kagame a parlé, il est parti, introduit. Le monsieur vous a introduit. Il y avait un monsieur debout qui vous a introduit.
Je dois parler maintenant.
Vous pouvez rester assis, parler assis. Vous pouvez parler assis, étant assis.
Ici?
Oui.
Pourquoi?
Vous pouvez parler assis, étant assis.
Ici?
Oui.
Pourquoi? C'est moi. Il n'y a personne pour conduire les travaux.
His wife, Chantal Biya, was there with him as well. She is a very pretty 53-year-old woman. However, it seems as though those around the president are not considering that he should step down and focus on taking care of his health, as it is now obvious that his health is taking a toll on him. South Sudan's president, Salva Kiir Mayardit, comes in as number 2 in this report by Newspop NG. The 71-year-old president has been the leader of South Sudan since the 9th of July 2012, after South Sudan got its independence 12 years ago. Before the country got its independence, Mayardit was the president of the government of Southern Sudan, as well as the first vice president of Sudan from 2005 to 2011. He was named commander-in-chief of the Sudan People's Liberation Army in 2005. Mayardit on the 13th of December 2022 appeared during a live television broadcast urinating on himself. It was during the occasion of the commissioning of a road project. Mayardit and others at the event stood for the South Sudanese national anthem when he began to urinate on himself. These incidents brought about various speculations of the possibility that Mayardit was suffering from a urinary tract infection. That video had its backlash as several journalists were hounded for allegedly releasing it to the world. President Muhammadu Buhari, the 80-year-old Nigerian president since 2015. He was born on the 17th of December 1942. Buhari had previously served as head of state from December 1983 to August 1985 after he took power in a military coup d'etat. He was elected president in 2015 after 3 unsuccessful attempts at the presidential polls in 2003, 2007 and 2011. He finally became president in 2015 and was re-elected in 2019. Barely a year after he assumed office as Nigeria's president, Buhari began to travel abroad for healthcare. In 2016, Buhari traveled to London for almost 2 weeks to treat an ear infection. In January 2017, the president traveled to the United Kingdom on medical leave and returned in March after spending 51 days out of the country. These are a few of his several medical vacations outside the country after he became president. As at the 15th of November 2022, the Guardian newspaper of Nigeria reported that President Buhari had spent 237 days outside the country for medical reasons. H. Godfrey Gengub, the president of Namibia since 2015. Gengub has served in different political positions before he became president of Namibia. He was the first prime minister of Namibia from 1990 to 2002. That's 12 years consecutively. He also served as prime minister again from 2012 to 2015, and in 2015 he eventually became president. Gengub is 80 years of age, and he was born on the 8th of August 1941. Alassane Ouattara has been the president of Ivory Coast, that is Côte d'Ivoire, since 2010. The 80-year-old Ivorian president has ruled the country for about 13 years. Although after ruling as president for 2 consecutive terms of 5 years each, Ouattara in 2020 announced that he would not run again for presidency. However, he changed his mind due to alleged links to drug trafficking and went ahead to announce that he will run for a 3rd term in office. His candidacy was controversial as the Ivorian constitution permits only 2 presidential terms. However, the Constitutional Court ruled that the first term under a different constitution did not count for the purposes of the 2-term rule of the current constitution. That allowed Ouattara's candidacy and bids to contest for the presidency the 3rd time to thrive. Of course, the move led to violent protests in the country. The election of October 2020 was reported to have been boycotted by a large part of the opposition and saw the re-election of Alassane Ouattara as president of Ivory Coast, adding more 5 years to the previous 10 years of being the president of Ivory Coast. Nana Akufo-Addo is the 5th president of Ghana. The 78-year-old Ghanaian president assumed office in 2017. It was this president that was accused of plagiarism in 2017 after giving his inauguration speech. It was alleged that the Ghanaian president lifted parts of the previous addresses by former United States presidents Bill Clinton and George Bush.
I ask you to be citizens, not spectators, citizens, not subjects.
I ask you to be citizens, not spectators, citizens, not subjects.
Ghanaians have ever been a restless, questing, hopeful people.
Americans have ever been a restless, questing, hopeful people.
However, the office of the President of Ghana, through its Director of Communication, issued an apology to that effect. Emmerson Mnangagwa is the 80-year-old president of Zimbabwe. He also assumed office as president in 2017. Mnangagwa was a long-time ally of his predecessor, Robert Mugabe. He held various cabinet positions and was Mugabe's vice president until 2017. He eventually became president of Zimbabwe after a coup same year, 2017. In 2018, Mnangagwa narrowly escaped being assassinated after an attempt was made on his life. A grenade was thrown at him as he was leaving the podium after addressing the people ahead of the elections. Teodoro Obiang Nguema Mbasogo. This is the president of Equatorial Guinea and a former military officer, otherwise addressed as Teodoro Obiang. He is the second president that Equatorial Guinea has had since independence. The 80-year-old president succeeded his uncle Francisco Macias Nguema in 1979 as the president of Equatorial Guinea. Obiang is currently in his 6th term as president of Equatorial Guinea, and his 6th term started in 2022. He has ruled the country for 44 years as president and doesn't seem to be willing to step down for someone else. Please subscribe to this channel, NosPopNG, for more updates. Do like and share this video, and please drop your comments down the comment section. I am Blessing Izija. Thank you for watching.